Yep. Y'all already know who it is. It's King Ade with the Wizards Review. My fault, I had a technical difficulty. I don't even know what happened, but I'm back. Um, so anyway, man, yo, we got a win tonight, man. We got the win to go into All-Star break. It was a great win. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. It's been a couple seasons. It ain't just this season, you know what I mean? I know they're shorthanded and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I know. So I'm not going to get too gassed because we beat a team that's supposed to be contending for the East. You know, I'm not going to be, too hype about it or whatever. But we seem to play well every time we play Brooklyn, for the most part. Whether we're in D.C. or whether we're in Brooklyn, you know what I mean? But we seem to just get the win, man. You know what I mean? We just seem to get the win, and it happened again. We needed this win. We had a tough loss last night. So to see us come back and get the win was a great, great sign that we're not giving up and we're still fighting. We had a few key pieces come back tonight. We saw Gafford play. We saw Rui play, and they all contributed and gave us some solid minutes. And I believe if they were there yesterday against the Pacers, I feel like we would have won that game too. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, not to say the Nets have an elite front court or anything like that, but they have some veterans like Aldridge, Blake Griffin. You know what I mean? They got some young players too. Sharp didn't play tonight, I don't think. I don't recall seeing Sharp. But they got some young players too. And I feel they have a better front court than Indiana. But Indiana dominated us yesterday. But again, we missed some key pieces that were here tonight. And not only helped neutralize their paint game, but we actually dominated the paint, man. So overall, man, it was a great game. So let's just get right into it. So before we talk about everything I like, since we got the win, I got to talk about some of the things that I disliked tonight. There's never a perfect game. Never a perfect game. So there were a few things I didn't like. So let's start there. First and foremost, man, I felt the Nets, man, especially early in the game, they were getting a lot of wide open shots, hitting a lot of jumpers. And I felt throughout the game, they were getting a lot of good looks, you know what I mean? I felt we clamped down in the second half compared to the first half. And we clamped down, especially in the fourth quarter when we really had to, you know what I'm saying? But they did get a few good shots, a few good looks early in the game, so I definitely didn't like that. There were times throughout the game, early in the game, but Drummond is a load. He's a monster. He's a guy that has had multiple 2020 games throughout his career in this league, you know what I mean? We don't have a guy on our front court that can give us 2020. Maybe Thomas Bryant might have a lucky, I won't even say lucky, but might have one of those games every blue moon, but not like how Andre Drummond has had, you know what I'm saying? So we know we're light in the front court. We're light at the center position. And when we play a center like that, it's a glaring weakness. And I felt early in the game, there was a sequence where, where Drummond basically backed down Bryant to the point where he fell on the ground. They didn't call, and he just got an easy dunk to stare him down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And so that just showed the load that Drummond is. But to our credit, throughout the game, we stopped it. We didn't let Drummond be a factor tonight. You know what I mean? It looked like he was going to be a factor, but he ended up not being a factor. So again, we have to give credit where credit is due. And if we can play like that against other team centers, I mean, we're not going to. Again, Drummond's a good center. He's been an all-star, so I don't want to say he's an above-average center, but he's not an elite center, especially now at this juncture in his career. But he's still a quality center and still a center that has the potential to give us major problems. And for us to be able to neutralize him, if we can play that type of defense against any center in the league, you know what I'm saying, then we have a good chance to be effective. And tonight was a great example of how we showed effectiveness against a quality starting center, especially having a smaller front court. But again, Gafford came back tonight to help Bryant on the boards, you know what I mean? So But I definitely didn't like seeing Drummond just looking too big and staring over Bryant the way he did early in the game. Our three-point defense was a problem at times throughout the game. You know what I mean? Again, I already said it. They got some wide open shots, got some good looks throughout the game. You know what I mean? So I definitely didn't like that. Patty Mills, especially in the first half, I don't think he was as big of a factor in the second half. I don't recall his name being called in the second half, but definitely in the first half, he was hitting some threes. And them as a team was hitting a lot of threes, you know what I'm saying? So, again, we clamped down in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter, and we took that three away for the most part. I mean, they still hit some big threes in the fourth quarter to come back, and they got the lead to single digits. But we pulled it out, man. We didn't let that kill the momentum and let them get the win. So, although I don't like us having bad defense, that's a pet peeve of mine, that three-point line defense. But it wasn't enough for them to beat us, so I'm not going to dwell too much on that. The Nets had some runs, 2 7-0 runs, one in the first quarter, one in the second quarter that I can remember. And then they had to have had a run in the fourth quarter as well because we had a double-digit lead, and they cut that to single digits. So that's another run that they have had to have. Did I put that down in my notes? Oh, yes, I did. In the third quarter, towards the end of the third quarter, the Nets had an 18-4 run. You know what I mean? So throughout the game, they had many runs, and then the third quarter had a major run that closed our double-digit lead to single digits. And, so we lost focus at times throughout the game on defense, man. So we definitely got to tighten that up, man. Man, we were missing too many shots, and some of the shots we were missing were point blank at the rim. You know what I mean? And I hate that. I really hate when NBA players that get paid millions of dollars miss these wide open layups. You know what I mean? Like, you can't miss those, and we were missing a lot of those early in the game. But to our credit, again, I'm saying that a lot this live stream, to our credit, because it just shows our resiliency. We had bad defensive lapses. We had wide open shots that we missed. We had bad turnovers throughout the game. But somehow, some way, we came together when we needed to come together and got the win. You know what I mean? So that just shows, and we don't have our best players on the floor. You know what I'm saying? We have a lot of young players, a lot of, what you would call role players, off the bench players, contributing in major ways and making big impacts just to show the chemistry that this team has had, especially after the trade deadline, man. So I'm really liking what I'm seeing with this team right now, man. You know what I mean? But I didn't like us missing too many wide open shots. There was a point in the game where we missed 9 shots in a row. You know what I mean? We missed 9 straight shots. You know what I mean? So we struggled at times on offense, but we gathered ourselves and we got it together, man. Carter, he scored the last 5 points of the first quarter for the Nets, and he had some big shots. You know what I mean? Some big shots throughout the game. So I definitely didn't like that. I don't really know this guy. You know what I mean? Off the bench, a guy that if KD was there, they had their full complement of players, he probably wouldn't even get no time. You know what I'm saying? So for him to even make any threes or even have some type of mini run is a disappointment. You know what I'm saying? We can't let, although they're all NBA players, if they went to the park on any court USA, they probably get buckets all day, every day. But in the league, they bench players. They're players that shouldn't even get on the floor at times. You know what I mean? And they're scoring on us, so I don't like that. I don't like that at all. We lost focus at times. That was a theme throughout the game at times on defense. Lost focus in the second quarter. Let the Nets get some easy shots to get right back in the game after we had, some control of the game. You know what I mean? So I definitely didn't like that. Kuzma tonight, man, he had some bad turnovers. He didn't have his best game tonight. After having a monster game last night, I guess he was a little tired. He didn't even get into double figures. KCP didn't get into double figures as well, but they still had positive impacts on the floor. They had, pluses on the plus minus You know what I mean? So they played. They weren't a liability on the floor. They just weren't their usual selves, especially Kuzma. But he had some bad turnovers. I'm talking about one turnover. He tried to make the cross-court pass, and it went right out of bounds. And then another turnover where he tried to make a cross-court pass, and it went out of bounds. Just some bad passes, some bad turnovers. But we didn't lose the game, so I don't want to harp on that. But he can't be doing that. You know what I mean? We can't afford him to make those type of turnovers, man. So I definitely didn't like that. There were times tonight where we lacked awareness, where we were setting up to shoot the three-point shot, and we stepped out of bounds. Kuzma and Kispert, those were the two that I recall. I think they were the only two, but they were big because when they shot the three, both times the three was made. You know what I mean? So those turnovers could have really cost us. Fortunately, we took control of the game in the fourth quarter, so it really didn't cost us at all. But still, we have to be more aware. Again, these are NBA players. These are turnovers that you cannot have. You know what I mean? So I definitely didn't like that. There was a couple of times in the third quarter where I felt KCP let Seth Curry get open for some wide open threes. And one of those times, you know, he's known for complaining to the refs, crying to the refs, and he did that today, and he let Steph Curry get a wide open three. KCP got to stop with that crying to the ref stuff, man. He does that way too much, man. And that's gonna just be getting on my nerves, man. So I didn't like the fact that he let Curry get open and get some wide open threes, because he could have really got hot. You know, if Curry gets hot, you know how the Curry brothers do, man. If they get hot, you know what I mean? They get hard to stop. So we can't let that happen, man. Especially complaining to the refs. So, you know, I definitely didn't like that. Again, we lost focus at the end of the third quarter. I already mentioned an 18-4 run, and that run let the Nets briefly take the lead. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely didn't like that. But fortunately, we took control of the game in the fourth quarter, man. So it didn't hurt us. LaMarcus Aldridge, he had a big game against us the last time we played them in D.C., and we neutralized them in the first half, but in the second half, especially in the third quarter where he started to get hot, he just became a factor. So he ended up having a decent game against us again tonight, man. So I definitely didn't like him becoming a problem. But then there was one sequence that anybody who played basketball, I mean, this is like fundamentals. You learn this, you know, Little League. Stop the ball. Stop the ball. You don't let one player, especially a scrub, I don't want to call him, that's disrespectful. A role player like Brown dribble the ball from their end of the court to our end of the court, straight line, drive in the middle of the court and get an easy layup and nobody stops the ball. I mean, that was unacceptable defense, man. It only happened once, but it was so glaring that I had to call it out, man. But other than that, man, that's all I disliked, man. That's all I disliked, man. You know, times in the game where we lost focus, but overall, we really controlled the game for the most part, especially in the second half when we really stretched out. The first half, it was back and forth, but I liked the way we were playing throughout the game, and then the second half, we just took control of the game. So with that said, man, let's talk about all the good things and the things that I like. Man, and the first thing I want to mention, man, is just our ball movement. Again, man, I just feel like Wes Unseld is getting, he's coaching the team the way he wants to coach the team. There's no upper management in his way, and the team is beginning to move the ball the way they looked earlier in the season. Playing great offense, getting wide open shots, getting good shots throughout the game. Multiple players scoring in double figures. A lot of our best players are high scoring players. Our highest scoring player, Rui, scored 20 points tonight. Highest scoring player of the team. And he came off the bench. You know what I mean? So a lot of our points came off the bench tonight. Double figures from a lot of players coming off the bench tonight, man. So I definitely like that. We got a lot of great shots. We made a point to score in the paint. You know, not just, you know, post-ups and stuff like that, but actually driving to the paint and passing the ball, getting wide open shots, and just scoring in the paint. You know what I mean? So I definitely liked our presence in the paint tonight. It was a total opposite of what occurred against the Pacers last night. You know what I mean? We dominated the paint tonight. And I think Coach Unseld made sure it was an emphasis, especially after looking at the box score. when the Pacers had a plus 38 advantage in the paint against the Wizards last night. You know what I mean? So I know that Coach Unseld harped on that, and it paid off because we dominated the paint tonight. I felt Bryant started fast. He played a good game. And although Drummond, especially at the beginning of the game, looked like he was going to have his way with Bryant got himself together after getting dunked on and laid on the ground. He got himself together and played a great defensive game against Drummond. You know what I mean? He even had a couple key blocks, man. So I definitely like Bryant, just his effort and not getting intimidated by Drummond's size and presence. You know what I mean? 12 points, 5 rebounds, 2 blocks. That's a quality game. That's a good, decent game, especially against a big, strong player like Drummond, man. So I like what Bryant did tonight. We forced turnovers tonight. Very, very, very aggressive defense, all-ball defense tonight, which was very impressive. Neto played very well tonight, man. Was a pest on defense, had 2 steals, 3 assists, 12 points. Just playing well starting as the starting point guard. You know what I'm saying? He's not a starting point guard. We do want to add more athletic point guard that can play better on-ball defense on a more consistent basis. But I want to give him his credit tonight, man. He played great tonight. Was efficient. Did he turn the ball over? Let me not speak too soon. Hold on, let me check this out. Neto did not turn the ball over. You know what I mean? So he played a great, efficient game. No turnovers, 3 assists, getting the team involved, playing with pace, moving the ball. It was just a great game. You know what I'm saying? And then Ish coming off the bench to back up Neto. And again, just keep the foot on the gas. I just love the way our pace has been since the trade of Dinwiddie, man. Having Neto and getting Ish Smith back, pushing the pace, keeping the defense on their heels. And Ish Smith played one of his best games that I've seen him play as far as shooting the ball with confidence, hitting the 3, hitting the mid-range, getting assists, just and being a pest. Both Neto and Ish Smith. Combined, they had a great game at the point guard position tonight. So I definitely like that. Denny, man. Just, again, man, playing great. Just showing development, showing growth, hitting 3s, shooting the ball with confidence, playing still that tough defense that he's known for. Forced some big turnovers in the fourth quarter to help us secure the win. I mean, he's just a key piece to what we're trying to do. Almost had a double-double, 13 and 8. With a couple of steals. I mean, this is just great that our draft picks, Kispert, Denny, Rui, our last 3 draft picks have all contributed big time. You know what I mean? I mean, you got to give credit to the Wizards front office for the great first round draft picks that we've acquired, man, because they all playing good and they're all getting quality minutes, developing, and we still have a chance to make the play-in, even without our best player. And right now, again, I've been saying it since the trade, that I'm not even concerned about making the play-in. I mean, I would love us to make the play-in, but I just want to see development, and that's what we're getting, and we're still competitive and still winning games, and we haven't even seen Kristaps Porzingis on the floor yet. So I just like what's going on with the Wizards right now, man. It went from looking bleak before the trade deadline to looking promising after the trade deadline. Who would have thought? You know what I mean? So I like what I saw from Denny. Kispert, I've been harping on it, putting him on my bad dislike list a lot. But tonight, he's been hitting those 3s, baby. Hitting those 3s from the corner, and even had a couple 3s from, the top of the key, towards, around the top of the key, you know what I mean? But regardless, he's hitting 3s now, you know what I mean? Shooting the ball with confidence. And you already saw, he's been known for hitting 3s in college. You see the form, you see that he has the potential to hit 3s, they just weren't going in. But tonight, the 3s were going in. And if he continues to hit that 3-point shot at the clip that he was hitting it tonight, he's going to be a problem because he's always going to be open, especially when Bradley Beal gets back and Kristaps Porzingis is on the floor and Kyle Kuzma does what he does. Having Kispert somewhere just hitting 3s, you know what I mean? It's just gonna be he's gonna have wide open shots, man. So he has to hit the three. And tonight he hit some big shots, man. Definitely like Kispert. I really like that brother's game, man. So I like what I saw from him. Again, I said Gafford came back tonight, gave us great energy. Didn't score double figures, but he provided a paint presence. And that's all we asked from him. You know what I mean? Get a couple block shots, which he did. Get a couple rebounds, which he did. Score if you have an opportunity to score, but just be a presence in the paint, and I felt that he was, and help Bryant contain Drummond. You know what I mean? So I definitely like what I saw from Gafford tonight. We had some good runs in the second quarter. We had an 11-1 run, and then we had a 9-0 run to close the second quarter. And then we had a 9-0 run to start the third quarter. So we had an 18-0 run. You know what I'm saying? Which stretched the lead to double digits. But like I mentioned earlier, we let the Nets come back after we went up, and they cut it to single digits. But again, fourth quarter, we clamped down again, and we stopped them and had a final push that they just couldn't overcome. You know what I'm saying? But we had just a lot of good runs in the second half. Rui, again, leading scorer off the bench with 20 points, and he's hitting that three with confidence, man. I mean, you could tell that he worked on his game, and that's good, you know what I'm saying? Especially him not being available earlier in the season. For him to come back with a consistent three-point shot, he already has a deadly mid-range, and he dunked the ball. Just did a lot tonight. Scored from all points of the floor tonight, man. And again, if he could give us that consistently, then he gives us what he gives us consistently. Kispert hitting that three-point shot consistently. Then we get Bradley Beal back. Have a quality Kristaps Porzingis. Have a quality Kyle Kuzma just getting better as a leader. Bryant coming back, playing well. This team is still a quality team, man. They could make noise in the East next season, man. You know what I mean? So I'm just hoping that all this development continues and these players just continue to get better, man. I felt KCP, especially in the second quarter, played well. He had a good game. I already said that. He played well tonight, man. Just was a leader. Again, he didn't score in double figures. The players that had the best game yesterday, Kuzma and KCP, didn't have the best game on the floor in regards to scoring, but they did other things, and they were positive on the floor tonight, just being leaders out there and being vets. So I definitely like what I saw from them, even though he didn't have his best game scoring the ball. The third quarter, again, I already mentioned the 9-0 run that we came out of the third quarter with. But more importantly, I thought we had great energy on defense, man. And again, just pushed the lead back up. But again, we lost some focus and let them get back to single digits. But in the fourth quarter, we went back to locking down, and we just was too much for them. We were just too much. Yeah, so I really like what I saw from us, especially in the second half in regards to defense. I already said we dominated the points in the paint. And then we hit big threes in the fourth quarter, which helped us close the game out. We've been hitting big threes the last few games. And for us to be last in the league, one of the worst teams shooting threes, now with the pace being picked up, Ish Smith and Neto getting players wide open shots because of the pace increasing. We're going to be better at the three-point line. So our percentages should increase, and we should have a better ranking from the three-point line by the end of the season if things continue to go the way they've been going. So anyway, man, that's everything, man. That's all I liked, and all I liked was enough for us to get the win. I also like Anthony Gill. Let me not forget about Gill's big game tonight, man. Just being that true professional. Had one of his best games. I mean, all around, hitting threes, scoring in the paint, getting rebounds. Even had 2 block shots tonight. I mean, he did a little bit of everything. That's just a true professional, man. And that's what we have. Ish Smith, Anthony Gill. You know what I'm saying? Just true professionals, man. Just that change in the locker room, bringing Ish Smith back, always smiling, always look like he's in a positive mode, always having a positive spirit. Just one person with that type of energy, that type of spirit, could uplift the whole team and make the team just play better, play more on a string, play with more camaraderie. And I'm just seeing that, man. I'm just liking what I'm seeing, man. Win or lose, they're just playing better basketball, playing team basketball. Young players getting better. I mean, that's what you want to see when you're developing and drafting players with potential and seeing them show their potential, man. So I'm very, very excited and very happy with what I saw tonight, man. So anyway, man, that's all I got for y'all tonight, man. Again, just a great game, great win, great way to go into the break. So, you know, I'm going to be off for a few days, you know what I'm saying, till our next game. But we're going to enjoy the All-Star break, you know what I'm saying? The team needs it, and it's going to be exciting because Kristaps Porzingis should be back. Should be in the lineup once the All-Star break is over, you know what I mean? So adding him to the mix is going to make us even better, man. So I'm excited to see what we really could do and how we're going to close the season out and see if we could get one of those play-in spots, man. That's what we're looking for, yo. So anyway, man, if y'all like what y'all saw, like what y'all heard, I would really appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel at The Wizards Review on YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook as well. You can follow me, King Ade DMV, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and on NBA 2K22 on the Xbox Series S and X. You know what I mean? So anyway, man, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the All-Star break. Look forward to the, after the All-Star break and closing out the season. And again, man, just hoping we can get that play in to just help us develop in an even higher competitive environment. You know what I'm saying? Because these young players are showing a lot of potential. And with another season under their belt, another summer under their belt, they're just going to be that much more of better players next season, man. So I'm looking forward to that, man. So anyway, man, have a good night. Until next time, man. Peace.